Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning. Let me set up this room real quick and then we can get started. Sorry, I was marking this up over here. All right, so let me just get everything set up over here. It's 6:21 right now, so we have about 9 minutes till market opens. I gotta speed this up a little bit real quick. Let's see. 26. All right, cool. So let me get the Zoom link sent out real quick to you guys here in the premium. Just trying to see if anyone took the gold move. We'll take a look at gold right now too to see how it moved. Let me just get this link sent out to everyone first. All right, link was sent out there. Let's see what else we got over here. It's weird. Thing, and then I'll get this link sent out to you guys right now. So let's see. Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning. Let me finish setting up this room real quick. It's gonna get the link out and then we should be good to go. So let's see, we got everything good right here. Link out to you guys here as well. 6:23. We have about 7 minutes till market open, so we still have some time. We're not in a crazy rush, but I mean, obviously, we want to get this link sent out as soon as possible. That's good. That's good. That's good. And the last place right there. All right, cool. So we got this links all sent out to, I mean, pretty much the rest of the groups here. I'm just sending this email out real quick to you guys. There, and I think just the social media real quick, and we should be good. We got 6 minutes till market open. I'll analyze real quick before we kick this off. So I think we're good right there. Let's send the IG real quick. All right, so we should be good to go. It's one last place, the IG, and then we should be good to go. I'm not going to post on anything else, not really necessary. All right, links posted. All right, that's good. All right, so I'm looking at US 30 right now. Right here on the 10-minute, we have a sell bias right here. I mean, it's a bearish bias overall. Off the 10-minute, right here on the 3 minutes, also a bearish bias right here. And then lastly, on the 1 minute, it's also bearish right here. So the technicals right here show, a bearish bias. However, we'll look at the fundamentals over here. The market hasn't opened yet. We have 5 minutes till market opens. So once this opens right here, if this is all red, then we'll take the sell. If it's all green, then we would have to wait for the confirmation here for the technical side to follow. But yeah, I mean, currently right now, there just isn't there isn't anything for us to really anticipate until we confirm it with the with the fundamental side. So let me just check this out over here real quick. Hey, morning, Tillman. Morning, Gallo. Morning, Matt. Morning, Goldie. Morning, everybody. Morning, iPhone. Morning, Big Thoughty. Morning, Neptune. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Peter. Morning, Joey. Yeah, there is a lot of news today, so it's going to be another iffy day of trading, unfortunately. I mean, there's a lot of news today. There's actually news right now. So Fed member Quarles is going to speak at 7. We have U.S. crude oil inventories at 7:30. We have Canadian news at 10, and then again the Fed speaks later at noon. About noon my time. So I mean, this is going to be a little bit of an issue when the Fed speaks at 7. So we're probably going to try to hop into this this breakout entry as soon as possible, and then hopefully pull out before 7 for the Fed speaks. And then we have crude oil inventories at 7:30. So I don't know if we're really going to have many entries today. It might just be this breakout entry, and then after that, we just might be calling it a day again, because there's just too much stuff going on that could cause the market to move unpredictably. And you don't want to enter a trade when the market's moving like that, because easily you can just reverse on you, especially for US 30. So let me see. Morning, Steven. Morning, Kasim. Morning, everybody. So yeah, just looking over here on the technical side, like I mentioned, it's bearish to me. Reason for it being bearish is that price is below the pivots. The trend meter is red. And it just looks like it's in a downtrend right now. If I was to draw like some sort of parallel channel right here, it's in some sort of downtrend right there, right? So I mean, all the technicals right here show that it's in a downtrend. It might not be a strong downtrend, but it is a downtrend at this time. So here on the 10-minute, it's a downtrend. Here on the 3-minute, it's also in a downtrend. Lastly, on the 1-minute over here, it is also in a downtrend. So when the market opens here at 6:30, if it closes with a strong red candle, and the fundamental side over here shows that it's also all red here, then we're going to hop into that sell for a possible just quick scalp to the bottom, or not to the bottom, but just on market open, because you only have about 30 minutes until the Fed speaks. So heavy news day again today. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like heavy, but it's enough to push the market one way or the other. So like I mentioned, this is why we keep we trade without a stop loss, but it's a mental stop loss. So like I said right here, it's at 500 pips, but in reality, my real stop loss, like where I can't take any more drawdown, will probably be around 750 pips or 1,000 pips over here. At that point, then I'm going to pull out. But otherwise, I'm probably just going to, I just keep this as my mental stop loss. But this is what happens sometimes is you'll see price will spike up, and then it'll go right past it and it'll come all the way back down. Or sometimes it'll do this. It'll come up, and then it'll come down, and then it'll come up, and then it'll literally just come all the way back down. Because there's a lot of market manipulation, right? When there's news happening. That's why we really don't like to trade when there's news happening, because a lot can happen during that time. And that's why we want to be really sure about our analysis before we enter this trade, because obviously we don't want to hop in at the wrong time. So it's 6:29 right now. We have about 1 minute till market open. Once the market opens, we can determine whether the fundamental side matches the the technical side. That's when we're going to take the trade. So just looking at this right here, let's see, everything still looks pretty bearish to me. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Okay, here's the market open, 6:30. Let's see where things are moving over here. All right, so you can see right here, obviously it's not really lopsided to the red. It's more so on the green. And it doesn't match the technicals, right? Because the technicals, we were looking for a bearish move. But looking at the fundamentals over here, it's moving towards the upside. So we'll see where it goes from here. But we, obviously we just have to wait for that confirmation before we take this trade. Looking at this here, the fundamentals still show a strong bullish move. It's more green right here, and the green stocks are stronger than the red over here. The Home Depot is up 1.6 points. United Health is up 1 point. Nike's up 1 point. But the red ones over here aren't that strong. So we're going to have to wait on that because the technicals here are opposite of the fundamentals. So we don't want to hop in right away. Hey, morning, Shawn. Morning, Adrian. Morning, Roy. Morning, Daryl. Morning, Nick. Morning, everybody. Yeah, no, exactly. Daryl said, I think this entire week will be shaky with Memorial Day coming up and people leaving for vacation. Yeah, no, definitely. It's, you know, it's a holiday week, so it's usually like that. Volatility is very low right now. Probably a lot of people aren't even trading this week. So this week and next week might be a little shake. Not really, I wouldn't say shaky, but it might be a little less volatile than what we're used to. So yeah, just looking at this here, everything is pretty green, right, for the most part. So I probably wouldn't take a sell here, even though the technical side still shows a bit of a sell. You can see right there, that big bullish candle. What I'd be looking for here is now I'd be waiting for a possible move to the other side. So it doesn't look like we're going to have the breakout entry again today for this specific reason. So yeah, because the thing is, the stocks here aren't really, I mean, they're pretty green, but they're not that green yet, right? So I personally wouldn't enter this, even though, I mean, technically this could have been your entry over here if you wanted it to be, but it's just too risky for me to enter it because it's not, it hasn't established yet that it's going to be moving that way for an extended period. So no breakout entry for us today because we don't have that confirmation yet. We want that confirmation that it's actually going to go one way or the other. The fundamental side is pushing for a bullish move. So just looking at it over here, it's, you know, most of these stocks here are green. So it is looking bullish to me. But what I'd be looking for here now is I'd just be looking for some scalps in that direction. So possibly here on the 3-minute, but we still don't know yet because we don't know what's going to happen once this closes. The main candle right here is going to be the 10-minute because this is we're only 3 minutes into this candle right here. This can easily bounce back and forth before it, you know, it establishes the direction for the day. So just looking at this here, this candle is going to be the determining factor. So there's no entry yet. There's no breakout entry. Reason for no breakout entry is that the fundamental side didn't line up with the technical side. From the beginning, we were anticipating a possible drop, or not a big drop, but, you know, a possible move to the downside. But looking at the fundamental side over here, it's all green. So we might just be looking for some scalps to the upside. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be green for a while. We just got to wait for the next like 7 minutes or so, or 6 minutes. It's 6:36 right now, or 6:34 for this first 10-minute candle to close so that it can confirm the direction. So like right there, you can see a quick shift to the upside. And you guys can follow this if you guys are in it, or if you guys are thinking about getting into it. I'm not in the trade, so I'm not going to risk it. It's too risky for me. It hasn't really, you know, it hasn't really confirmed it yet. So there you go, as it comes back down right there. So there's no entry here. But personally, yeah, I want it to be a buy because I still have my, I still have mine from yesterday, the one where we entered over here. So it's technically still running. It's, so I prefer for it to be a bullish bias. So we'll see where it goes from here. But, you know, like I said, there's no breakout entry right here, guys, because they didn't line up. The technical side, pre-market, didn't line up with the fundamental side as market opened here. And as you can see right here, the stocks are starting to shift to the red side, not very strongly, but some of them are starting to shift to the red side. They're starting to balance out. So it's not as one-sided as we would want it to be. Huge wick right here above. Not necessarily something that I would want to mess with, right? The Fed speaks in about, was it 25 minutes? Yeah. Fed speaks in about 25 minutes. So there's going to be news coming up soon. It's going to be affecting the market somewhat. So this is an entry here, guys. Like I mentioned, this technically would have been if we had that confirmation, but we don't have the confirmation yet. So I just marked it up, but we didn't take this trade. see. Warren Mitchell, how's it going, bro? Yeah, so the fundamental side is still showing green. So we're just gonna have to wait for a possible scalp to the upside. But the Fed is speaking in about 25 minutes right here. Fed member Quarles is going to be speaking. So I don't think I'm going to be taking any trades myself. Let's move this over so we can follow it. All right. So same choppiness as yesterday. As you can see, price went up and it came back down. The fundamental side is still showing it's still showing a bullish move, but it's starting to balance out. So as you can see right here, there are not as many green stocks as there were initially. Now they're starting to shift to the red side. So if this happens right here, then it's going to confirm with the technicals, right? So that's what we'll be looking for as we continue on. Because if it continues to drop further and then the fundamental side turns red over here, then that's completely fine, because then we're going to, we can just scalp to the downside. So there you go. A lot of whipsaw action today, just like it was yesterday. Steven said, okay, so I think it's okay we didn't get a breakout entry today since the market is risky. June 9 has deadlighted past FTMO. You have a lot of time, Steven. There's no need for you to rush. But yeah, no breakout entry today. As you guys can see, it came back down to where we initially thought it was going to go, right? We thought it was going to go down. So this is why I didn't take that buy, even though it showed a buy right there. And who knows, this might come all the way back up, right? Because the fundamental side is still green. So if you guys are trading right now, you guys got to be careful because the news is coming up shortly. I wouldn't even bother trading the US 30 right now because it's starting to shift to the downside. So Honeywell right here is turning red, Apple's turning red, Verizon is about to turn red. However, Home Depot is still carrying it right now. So Home Depot is up 3 points, Nike's up almost 2.3 points. It's now 2 points right here. Salesforce is up 1.6 points, Boeing's up 1.6 points. And the red stocks down here, they still don't outweigh the green side. You can see right here, overall, it's still up 50 points, but it's now dropping to about 37 points. If this goes above 100 points, then yeah, I'll start looking for some buys, vice versa. If it starts going negative 100, then I'll start looking for some sells. But right now, the fundamental side is still showing a somewhat bullish move here. Not a strong bullish move, but it's still bullish overall because the green stocks are still outweighing the red stocks over here. So that's how I get the fundamental analysis there. The technical side over here, it's still for a sell, right? Prices below the pivots, trend meters red. On the 3 minute, same situation, prices below the pivots, trend meters red. And then again, on the 1 minute, prices below the pivots, trend meters red. So yeah, I'm not really, turn these off right here. Not really looking for any specific trades right now, but we're still analyzing the market because the market's been super choppy this whole week. Well, not really this whole week, only yesterday. Monday was fine. We had a lot of profit on Monday. A lot of you guys made profit yesterday too, but you guys just didn't take the breakout entry. Or if you guys did, you guys got in and out like really quickly. So like, for example, over here, how many pips did this go up? Yeah, not very much, 300 pips. I mean, if whoever took the trade, if you were in this and you got out at 250 pips, you would have made some profit, but I didn't take the trade myself. So it's a lot of choppiness in the market right now. See, it's 640. Yeah, I don't really see much here. Very much on my end. But we'll wait and see where it goes from here. I'll just turn on my alerts. I guess we're not taking we're not taking the breakout entry, so we'll just be looking for some scalps now. So signal on the 3 minute right here. As you guys can see, it's doing exactly what I mentioned, right? So like earlier, I mentioned that we were looking for a possible sell, but then it shot up and then it shot back down. And then now look what's happening again. It's shooting right back up, right? Because the fundamental side is still bullish. So if they don't align, then, odds are it's probably going to keep going back and forth because there's a lot of manipulation going on in the market, right? Obviously, if all the stocks here are green, there's no reason for it to come down. Look how big Home Depot is up 4 points. Nike's up 2 points. This super outweighs the red stocks over here, right? So there's a lot of market manipulation going on right here where price is coming down when the fundamental side is actually showing an upwards move, right? It's up, let's see how many points. It's up 72 points now. So it should be going up, but for whatever reason, the technical side is still going down temporarily right now. So we just got to wait for that confirmation. In order for me to want to take some trades here, I would need a 10-minute to bring price somewhere above here. Same with the 3-minute. I need price to be somewhere up here. And then same for the 1-minute as well. You can see right here, it's trying to make a shift up, but I would need price to be somewhere above this area over here and consistently above that area so that it lines up with the fundamentals over here. Like for whatever reason, I'm not going to take, I'm not going to take any sells here when the fundamental side is showing, it's blue. I mean, it's not blue, it's green. Because that's how you get caught in a lot of whipsaw action where it goes up and then it comes down and then it goes down and then it goes up. So that's pretty much what we'll be looking for here. Looking at the fundamental side, it still shows that. Let's just update this real quick. How many points is it up? It's still up 30 something points. Like I mentioned before, we're waiting for it to go above like maybe 100 points, like consistently above 100 points or below 100 points, so that we have that bias on the fundamental side to line up with their technical analysis over here. Good morning, Active. Morning, everybody. So yeah, I mean, it's just the waiting game at this point. Since the see this. So it's starting to shift down. Now it's only up 25 points. You can see that there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. It hasn't really, I mean, if you guys have been following me for the past couple of months, it's usually like super one-sided, right? It'll be 100 points above or 100 points below, and then we can trade in that direction. But right now it's pretty flat. There's half red stocks and half green stocks here. So let's see, there's 30 stocks here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's actually more red stocks than green stocks, but the green stocks are a lot more heavier. But we'll see. It looks like it might be shifting to the red side. All right. So the technical side over here still shows some red, and we'll just have to wait and see where it goes from there. But I'll keep an eye on this. We want this to be very green or very red before we start taking trades in that direction. So let me just scroll up real quick. Nick's asking about your USD. So your USD right here, it just, it spiked down on market open, but let's see how everything else is moving here. So let's see the confluences. Look at Euro Auto here. See how Euro Auto is still pretty bullish. Since Euro Auto is still pretty bullish, this shows me that the Euro index is still pretty strong. Same here on Euro CAD. It's still bullish right here, right? I'm just using different confluences here. Euro CHF is different. I wouldn't pair this with that, but Euro GBP, it's also bullish right here. This actually hit CP for whoever took it the other day. And same with Euro JPY, right? So everything over here is still showing a pretty bullish move aside from the AUD pairs and the NZD pairs. Those had a big spike yesterday, but the rest of the Euro pairs over here are pretty bullish, right? So that's why for Euro USD, I'm not really too worried about it. I think it's going to swing back up. It was just a temporary spike down. And then looking over here at the USD pairs, a lot of these are consolidating. AUD USD is consolidating, GBP USD is consolidating, NZD USD is bullish right here. That's because the NZD and AUD pairs had that spike yesterday. Lastly, looking at USD CAD over here, consolidating, USD CHF bearish. This shows that the USD is weak. And then looking at USD JPY over here, it's also bearish, but it's also consolidating. So looking at the actual index over here, let's zoom out from this point and then zoom out from this point too. So that big spike right here happened because of the dollar. The dollar had a big spike up and then the Euro index had a big spike down. So with that said, that's what caused a spike. But you can see right here, obviously the Euro is starting to recover right in that way and the dollar is starting to come back down. So if that happens right here, then we could expect Euro USD to come back up. Nick, I didn't really take, I didn't really take a big lot size on this anyway, so I'm just letting it run for the most part. All right, back to Euro USD. Let's see, CT said top 5 weighted Dow stocks are red except HG. Let's see, good to know, CT. So yeah, it looks like it might be shifting now. Or I mean, it's still in the green. It's in the green 28 points, not very much, but Yeah, so looking at the top 5 weighted stocks over here. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's still it's pretty down the middle for the most part. It's not really up or down that much. It's only up 30 or 25 points, I guess. So it's still like straight down the middle. There's no bias here on the fundamental side yet. It's still kind of just going back and forth. So until we get a bias, um, there really isn't going to be like a bias for us to follow, because if it's just down the middle, price can literally go either way. It can go up or it can go down. Like, who knows, right? We would need that confirmation for us to enter a trade. Like, for example, here, even though it looks like a nice sell, I wouldn't enter the sell right here, because this can easily, in a matter of minutes, just spike up in the other direction. Also, the Fed speaking in about 15 minutes or less. So when the Fed speaks, they're going to, if they say something good about the US economy, they're going to spike it all the way back up, right? I don't know. They can talk about a lot of things. They've been talking about a lot of stuff this entire week. So let's see. Let me just go to the news real quick. So I'll show you how like the market reacted to like news. So like on Monday, the Fed spoke at 6 a.m. and then 9 a.m., right? I'll pull up some charts here and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So on the 1 minute chart, so I can kind of show you guys like how it moved. So on Monday, which was the 24th, I believe. All right. So Monday on the 24th right here, you can see that around like, let's see, where was it? Yeah, so exactly at 6 a.m., right? So I'm going to mark it up right here. Exactly at 6 a.m., you can see price was pretty bullish, right? But then the Fed started speaking from like 6 to, I don't know, whatever, 9 or something like that, or they speak for about an hour. So like from 6 to 7, you can see that market kind of gets a little choppy, right? So like right here, it's a smooth move up, and then they start speaking at 6. It slowly starts to go down, and then it spikes up, then it comes back down. A lot of whipsaw action here, right? It just keeps going back and forth. This is why we don't like trading when there's news, because it's not a smooth move like this. Like right here, prior to news, smooth move down, smooth move up, right? Over here, not smooth at all. Again, on Monday, they spoke again at 9. So right at 9 again, there is let's see. Yeah, so again at 9 right here. And you guys can do this yourself. You can go check the news and then see how price moves, around that period. So like, for example, right here, from 9 until, I don't know, maybe 10, or whenever he was done speaking. They usually speak for like about an hour, maybe 2 hours. You can see from right here, a lot of choppiness, right? It was a smooth move up after like, this is when they finished speaking the first time from 6 to 7. It goes up smoothly, right? For the most part. You can just scalp this up to the upside. Again, right here at 9, he speaks, a lot of back and forth movement. It goes down, it goes up, and then it goes back down. This is why we don't like to trade during when the Fed speaks. And this is why I usually stop trading, because you don't want to get caught in these moves right here. If you get caught in a move like that, you can easily get screwed. If you trade in the direction that you think it's going to go in, but they just push it the other way. So again, right here, the Fed speaking at 7 o'clock. He's going to speak in about 10 minutes. So we could probably see a lot of back and forth movement from now, which is going to be right here. Let me just mark this up. So from like 7 o'clock up until possibly 8, maybe 9, somewhere around there, we'll probably see a lot of back and forth movement around here. So price comes down right here. We'll probably see it go up slightly, go back down, and then go back up, or whatever, something like that will happen where it's not going to move smoothly. And that's why we don't want to take a sell here, even though it looks like a nice sell. I wouldn't take the sell, because when the Fed speaks in the next 10 minutes, they can easily reverse price the other way. So there's a lot of stuff that can happen when they start speaking. So I wouldn't really mess with it. I mean, if you guys want to hop into the sell, that's really on you. But from my own experience and like from what I'm letting you guys know, there isn't really much for us to look at over here. Check this real quick. All right. Sorry, I'm checking this list real quick. All right, now I'm just looking at the profits that everyone sent me. So there's a couple people who sent me profits over here. Let's see. So Ed, he took a couple trades right here. He actually took a sell right there. He made about 1,000 for this morning. So like I said here, if you guys know what you're doing, you guys can easily take these trades on your own. It's just, it's really up to you if you want to take that risk. I'm not going to take the risk myself. So I'm probably just going to sit out for a bit. And then we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, looking at US 30 right here, news is coming in about 9 minutes. So we'll see where it moves from there. But yeah, everything over here is pretty much bearish for the most part. The 10-minute over here has a confirmation of a bearish drop. So if you guys took the sniper entry, there's a lot of sniper entries that were available here actually. So there's one that was right here, and then there's another one right after. If you guys aren't familiar with the sniper entry, basically we look for the wick rejection off the pivot, wick rejection off the structure. We confirm the direction of momentum right here for a sell, and then we enter right here for a sell, obviously. So if you took this snipe entry right here, that would have been a full TP. There's also another one that is that's down here. But, like I mentioned, news is coming up shortly, so I'm not taking any of these trades. But yeah, this would have been a snipe entry right there. And then possibly another one right here, but news is coming up, so I wouldn't mess with it. Yeah, news is coming up in about 8 minutes. So we're probably going to see a lot of unusual movement for the next hour or so. So as you can see right there, it looks like it might have hit a bottom down there. And then it just might swing back up. But like I mentioned, the news is happening in about 8 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up shooting all the way back up when the Fed starts speaking. Let's see. Check out the Dow Index. Yeah, so the Dow Index now is slightly red. It's only red 4 points. It's not hugely red. So I wouldn't just jump on that bandwagon and try to hop in for the sells just yet, especially with the news coming up shortly. So we have a signal right here on the on US 30 off the 1 minute. So there you go. As you guys can see, market is really it's not really moving smoothly, right? So if you got into that sell, if you basically followed the sell right here because you thought it was going to drop, you would have been screwed because now you've been in some drawdown about 500 pips almost, right? So this is why I don't trade during news, because a lot of this stuff can happen where you just wouldn't be sure like what's gonna move from this point. Yeah, no problem, Jeremy. I just saw your message. Yeah, no, don't hop into that sell, guys. Don't chase this market manipulation, because if you chase it, you could get caught in like a lot of drawdown right here, because it's probably going to swing all the way up. We have the Fed speaking in about 6 minutes. We have the crude oil inventories in about 30 minutes. So we got 2 big news events coming up soon. And then again, later today. So I'll try to, I'll hang on with you guys. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and put your questions in the chat. I think this is probably the best time for me to answer questions because we're not entering any scalps right now due to the news. I'll keep following it to see if there's any entries that we can take. But, at this specific point in time, there just isn't anything for us to take. We're just going to be watching and monitoring how it moves, because maybe an hour from now, whatever the Fed says, they can push price in one direction or the other, and then it might push price into a bias. So like I mentioned before, in order for there to be a bias for me, I want there to be either negative 100 points or positive 100 points here, and then I'll start trading that direction if it lines up with the fundamental side, with the technical side, because the technicals here is still for a sell. But looking at the index right here, it's not very strong on the sell side. It's only down 0.02% for 6 points. It's not a big move. It can easily shift the other way in a matter of moments. So just keep that in mind. So if you guys have any questions, I'll take a look at the Forex pairs over here real quick to see if there's anything for us to enter. But I don't think there's anything for us to enter right now. So looking at AUD CAD, there's no entry right here. The last entry would have been down there. Odd CHF. See, this could be a possible entry right here. So let me just make sure the zones are proper over here real quick. So the zones are good on the 4 hour. We just need a floor. All right, so the floor is set there as well. All right, cool. So if this closes right here with the sell signal, this would provide for a sell entry right there. So I'll just keep this marked up in case possible entry appears right there. Keep that marked up right there. Nothing here for odd JPY. Odd NZ. Technically, this would have been an entry right here, but I wouldn't have taken it because it's a fresh new break below. And there's a lot of news yesterday with regard to the AUD and NZD. So I want to make sure there's a floor there. No floor. Yeah. Oh, duh. Sorry. The zones weren't turned on. Okay, so here on the 4 hour, 8 hour, nothing there. Daily. All right, so the floor is right here. So if you guys want to, I mean, if you guys are looking for a Forex trade, this is one possible sell right here. It's just going to be a risky trade in my perspective, because there was news yesterday regarding the AUD and NZD. So I don't know how smooth this is going to be, but let me just check real quick, because maybe this could be a decent entry for us here. So basically what I'm identifying here is that the AUD is weak and the NZD is strong. So looking at this here, it doesn't necessarily look that way for me across the board, right? Everything kind of looks kind of choppy. The NZD though is bullish from my perspective. Yeah. So that looks bullish to me. I could even pull up the indexes over here. So let's see, we'll pull up the AXY, which is the Aussie index. ZXY is the New Zealand index. So just looking at this here, I mean, the NZD is very strong, but the AUD is kind of just going sideways. So I'm not going to take that trade. I'll mark it up right here. We'll follow it later, but I'm not going to take it. It doesn't look like a safe trade for us to take right now. All right, so we got this right here. AUD USD. Nothing there. Got another one right here. All right, let me go back to US 30 real quick just to see how it's moving. It's still moving pretty bearish right now. News is going to happen in about 2 minutes, so we'll come back to that shortly. CHF JPY right here. So that looks good there. Euro odd right there. All right. Euro CAD, Euro CHF right here. Euro GBP over here. Yeah, there's no entry there for that. Euro JPY. Yeah, if you guys can see here, the Forex market didn't really move that much yesterday. It was pretty slow overall. The only ones that really moved were the AUD pairs and the NZD pairs. Reason for that was that because there was news last night. But other than that, there hasn't really been much movement in the in the market, obviously. There. Nothing there, nothing there. Nothing there. Just move this up right here. Yeah, I mean, there hasn't really been too much here. It's pretty much been the same. As you can see, obviously, the only ones that moved were AUD and NZD pairs, but everything else kind of just has been going sideways. Let's update this real quick. All right. Yeah, nothing there. USD CAD. Yeah, nothing. All right, cool. Yeah, so as you guys can see right here, if I take everything off, you guys can see it's just been consolidating, right? Everything else has been consolidating. USD CHF sideways, USD CAD sideways, Euro pairs, sideways. Obviously, the only pairs that really had spikes in price were the AUD pairs here, right? Big spikes last night, right there, like right here. These big candles right here, right? All of the AUD pairs and NZD pairs had some big spikes. Big spike up, big spike up there, big spike up there. But everything else has been kind of just sideways. Not really too much for us to really move on for these here specifically. So let's see. Smokes is asking if I'm still holding the Forex trade. Yeah, I'm holding the Forex trade too, but I'm not really, it's not a big lot size. So I'm kind of just hanging on to it. But yeah, I'm still in the Euro USD trade. I only take like 1%. The account's not that big. It's like a couple thousand. So for the Forex trades, I usually just let them play out. I don't really mess with it because I make most of my profits from US 30 anyways, as you guys are aware. See, Neptune said, Shawn, Shawn, do you feel like our trading plan should be to wait for US 30 to turn bullish again since it's a bullish market to begin with? Not necessarily. I don't, what makes you think it's like a bullish market? I mean, yeah, overall it's a bullish market, but we're scalping, so it doesn't really matter what's going to happen a day from now, 2 days from now, 3 days from now, because we don't. It only matters what happens in the next hour or so, right, Neptune? So I mean, you don't have to just trade bullish because you think it's a bullish market. Like literally, you can trade bullish like as much as you want, but you could still like if you're to trade bullish, if you're just to take every buy here, you wouldn't win every trade. They're just I'm not sure where you kind of got that idea from. That's I mean, yeah, it's bullish overall. Like if you go on the 1 hour, but you're not going to hold trades for like 1,000 pips every day, right? Like for example, right here, if you took every buy here, you would have been in some massive drawdown because you would have thought that. I mean, I don't know what made you think it was in a bullish market, but right here, even on the 1 hour chart, you'd be in some drawdown 17,000 pips if you were to just trade for buys, right? Same situation over here. Price can go down. It's not always going to go up. It's not always guaranteed to just keep going up and up and up. It goes down. So I think you kind of have to change your perspective on it on US 30 because 17,000 pips for US 30, that's a lot of pips for you to be holding some drawdown. So I wouldn't necessarily just wait for it to swing up always. Because I mean, it might look like a bullish market, but if you look at it here on the 4 hour or even any other time frame, it still drops. It's not always going to go up. And I think that's a big misconception about US 30. It's why a lot of people just I mean, they buy the dip, right? Sometimes they buy the dip, but sometimes that dip keeps going. It doesn't necessarily look. Yeah. No, Neptune said, right. I see what you're saying. I was just looking at history. I mean, if you're familiar with how the US 30 works, it's the top 30 US stocks. So when the stocks start to underperform, they switch them out, but they don't switch them out like every day. They switch them out like maybe once every couple months, once every month or so. So if you look here on the daily, there's still drops here, but obviously, unless you're holding on to it for a very long time, like for example, right here, you can see the drawdown right here. This drawdown is like 20,000 pips. So yeah, that's a big drop. I wouldn't be holding on to it for that long. So anyways, going back to what I was looking at here. Yeah, I'm not necessarily going to look for it to swing up. I'm only looking to trade in the direction that the fundamental side is showing me for the day, Neptune. So what I was saying earlier, we were looking for the buy and looking for it to shift because the fundamental side here was green. Now it's red. So we're not really looking for it. I mean, it doesn't matter. If it goes 100 points to the green side or 100 points to the red side, we'll trade in either way. But right now, there really hasn't been a direction that's been set. As you can see right here, it's pretty split along the lines. There's some green stocks or some red stocks, but it's just split down the middle where there really isn't much for us to trade in. So yeah, no, you're right on that, Neptune. To see that the long-term history is bullish because it is bullish because when the stocks start to suck, they just switch them out for something better. But it's not always going to just go straight up right away. So yeah, no, hopefully you got that because I know a lot of people do. They try to compare, Forex to US 30, but it was completely different. For Forex, these are ranging assets. They just keep going back and forth. You can't switch them out. For US 30, they switch out the stocks so it can go easily from bearish to bullish right away, or it can take some time if they decide to hold on to it for a while. Shay's asking, hey, Shawn, how do you draw the pink zones and what do they represent? They represent rejection points. So these pink zones right here, you need the K2SR indicator. If you want this indicator here to draw these zones to identify market structure, just go on the website, k2trades.com, click on K2 strategy course right here. And then you'll have access to all of these K2 indicators right here. You'll have access to the momentum indicator, the K2 pivots indicator right here. That's how we identify these rejection points off both the zone and off the K2 pivots. So you have to sign up on the website if you want access to it. But yeah, I mean, like going over here, I'll show you, how we utilize these points here. So like, for example, I'm just going to go and replay it from this point over here. And I'll just put the requirements here for the K2 snipe strategy that I just mentioned. And that's where we implement these indicators. So this is the K2 snipe strategy, US 30, 10-minute time frame. So first you want to confirm a wick rejection off K2 pivots, which can be any pivot. Two, confirm wick rejection off K2 SR zone. Three, confirm wick rejection off K2 pivot. Does not touch candle body. And then lastly, you just want to confirm direction of momentum using K2 momentum indicator. So, I mean, this is pretty much it if you're using the snipe strategy right here. And then, like you mentioned, those pink zones right there, if I turn this off, so if I turn the K2 SR indicator and I turn this off, you can see we have zones in that area, right? I just drew rectangles over it. So if I turn this off, turn this on right there, you can see I just drew over it, and I'll just turn that off so it's not all messy. So like first and foremost, you want to confirm a wick rejection off the K2 pivot, which would be right here. Next, you want to confirm a wick rejection off the K2 SR zone. It also reject off the zone right here. Third, you want to confirm the pivot isn't touching the body. So the pivots are way up here, the body's way down here. So that's fine. And lastly, you just want to confirm the direction of momentum using the momentum indicator. So like looking at this right here, we have that sell signal right there. So we're only going to take some sells, right? With that said, we would enter this for a sell right there. Our TP stop loss would be 500 pips. That's the general TP stop loss we use for this strategy. And if we run that there, as you can see over here, full TP with just some slight drawdown. So that's, that's how you use these indicators here to identify these entry points. So that's pretty much it for that. Smokes is asking, Bless, whether you're still holding the Forex trade? Yeah, I'm still in the Euro USD. Unfortunately, I'm still in it, but like I mentioned earlier, I didn't really take a big lot size, so I'm not really worried about it. It's kind of just, I take it and I just hold on to it for the most part. But yeah, I'm still in it. Not really risking too much, like a couple $100 off there for EU. So anyways, the Fed started speaking at 7 o'clock right now. Let's go over here real quick. So the Fed did start speaking. The crude oil inventories will come out in about 22 minutes. So 22 minutes, the crude oil inventories will come out. And then hopefully around 8, we can possibly take some scalps once we have a bias that becomes set here. Obviously, there's no bias right now. It's just, it's only down like 6 points. It's not really down that much. It's down now, -25. But there really isn't very much of a bias here overall. It's still just going sideways for the most part. All right, so the Fed is speaking from here. I'll just mark it up for you guys so you guys can see. So yeah, as you guys can see, it was a nice bearish move right here. And then you'll see what happens right here from this point. I think from this point, it's just going to go back and forth. It's going to go up, then it's going to go down, then it's going to go down, then it's going to go up. It's not necessarily going to go straight up or straight down. So we'll see what happens from here. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, it's probably the best time because we're not really looking for any trades. We're just identifying the market to see where it goes in the next hour or so, because we do have news coming up again in the next 20 minutes. Yeah, let's keep waiting for it. So let me see. I hate how the market's like this. If you guys are, well, so if you guys listen to Kyle like last week, Kyle mentioned that usually 1 week out of the month is usually either not really a bad month, but it's usually an iffy week. So 1 week out of each month, there's like a week where the market just goes sideways, or it just, there's a lot of manipulation going on, right? That's kind of what it seems like is going on this week for May 26th, or for I guess this is the last week of May. I think so. Because if you look at our results from the past couple of weeks or so, we've had a really good month so far. So like looking at our trades here for US 30 for May, we're up 42 wins, only 1 loss for this entire month. So generally there's like 1 month I mean, there's 1 week out of each month where it just kind of, there's not very many trades, or there are more losses than what we're used to, right? So like looking at the results here for May, we've had like literally no losses the entire month. This is May week 4. So this might be the only, this is the last week of May. So this might be the week where price might be moving a little funky. Because on week 1, we had 11 wins, 0 losses. Week 2, we had 9 wins and 1 loss. Last week, we had a huge week. It was 22 wins and 0 losses the entire week last week. So this week might be the week where price starts to move weird, which is normal. It's fine, right? Because if we go back over here, let me go back to April. If I can find the results for April, I think we kind of had the same situation there as well. So last month, no, it's still May. So last month over here, okay, here's April. Well, April was kind of, yeah. So looking at April over here, you can see the huge difference in the trades, right? So April week 1, we had 9 wins, 0 losses. April week 2, we had 3 wins, 2 losses. April week 3, we had 25 wins, 0 losses. And then April week 4, we had 5 wins and 2 losses. So you guys can see here, the unusual week was either week 2 or week 4, because, you know, you have less than half the trades that we took the entire week. And that's the only week, like the only 2 weeks where we encountered a couple losses out of the entire month. So just looking at May over here, that's pretty much, you know, what could possibly happening, because it hasn't been the same. So, but everyone here is still doing pretty good. Like looking at everyone here who's taking some risks, like John over here, he locked in 4,383. So he took sells right there as we were waiting for price to move along. So if you guys know what you're doing, you guys have the indicators, you guys can trade on your own, right? So John over here, he took a couple sells. Let's see what he took. Looks like he probably took, how much profit did he make off that? 2,000. So it looks like he was going for about like 20 something pips per trade. So it looks like he might have taken, he literally took these, there's just one trade. Looks like he might have taken this one right here. See what time was the trade? Yeah, so it looks like he might have taken this one over here. So if I zoom out from this point over here, it looks like he kind of went for, how many? He went for like about 30 pips, it looks like. So it looks like he probably went for this one right here, or 300 pips, I mean, sorry, 300 pips. So if he took that trade right there, where he made 2,000 each, looks like he took the same trade right there and went down for about 30 pips or 300 pips. So it got close to stop loss right here, but it still hit TP right there. He probably had a wider stop loss or just no stop loss at all. But it looks like this was the trade that he took right here at this time. And then he made about 4,000 off that, trading the 1 minute pivot strategy. And then same here with Loke, he took about 3 trades right here. It looks like he took about the same thing as well, same exact time. So it looks like he took this one right here, and then he took this one right here for a smaller win. So he took 2 trades right there on that first one. They're about the same entry. So we took 2 right here, and then he took 1 small one right there. We made 560. So it looks like he caught possibly about 10 to 20 pips right here. There you go, 20 pips, right? Straight to TP, no drawdown. So if you guys know what you're doing here and you guys know these strategies, you guys can do this on your own. But like I said, I'm not really trying to take any risky trades. I'm being very careful with my trades. And yeah, I mean, you could make profit if you want, but I'm not really feeling greedy at all. So that's why I didn't take any trades myself. But if you guys wanted to, you guys could have. So looking at price right here, see how it pushed all the way up? It did exactly what I said, right? So if you guys have been following me for this whole session, I mentioned when the Fed speaks, they're probably going to push price up. The Fed started speaking at 1 right, or at 7 right here. So at 7 o'clock right here, look what happened as soon as the Fed started speaking. Strong bullish move, right? So if you guys have been following me for the past, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, this is exactly what I was mentioning. This is why I didn't hop into those sells, because something like this would happen. And, you know, it's doing exactly what we thought. So we'll see where it goes from here. I mean, if it keeps pushing up, then, you know, maybe we'll start taking some buys, but it's doing exactly what we anticipated. So I don't mess with the news, because a lot of people probably got trapped there for that sell, and then it ended up reversing on them super heavily right here. So it's now up about 700 pips right there. And I could take these trades if I wanted to, but like I mentioned, I don't like taking trades that are maybes. I like taking trades that are 100% sure. That's why we have such a high win rate here at K2, because I'm very careful about the trades I take. But yeah, so the technical side here still shows a bearish move. Same here on the 3 minute, still bearish, and then on the 1 minute right here, it's starting to shift to an upside. So the fundamentals over here are starting to shift to the upside too. You can see it was negative 30 points. Now it's positive 30 points. But it's not enough for me to have a bias to really want to enter a trade just yet. So we'll see where it goes from here. But we're going to be waiting for the next news event to happen in about 24 minutes. So in about, or 14 minutes actually. In 14 minutes, the oil inventories are going to be released. Then we'll see how the market reacts to that news event. All right. So let me just check real quick. Paul said, played around with big numbers on my demo again. 10 lot sell on US 30, made 64K. Damn, yeah, that sounds good, Paul. You caught it all the way from the top then, if you enter this one right here. So if you enter this one right here and you took a 10 lot, yeah, you could have made a lot off that. It's almost 1,000 pips right there. Smoke said 1,500 down FTMO, got to catch up 4,500 to pass. Yeah, no, you're good, Smokes. You should, when does your FTMO expire? Because the thing is, if you're getting close to your expiration date, you can just go for another retry. But if you have a lot of time, then yeah, you got a lot of time to just possibly pass this. Hopefully the market picks up a little bit today, if not tomorrow. And then you can possibly hop into some other trades. See if there's anything else over here real quick as we move along. But yeah, if you guys have profits that you guys want to send over to me, go ahead and send them over, and then I'll I'll add them to the list here. But yeah, it looks like from this morning, there's been about just 3 people who traded this morning. So Ed over here, he took the sell, see, around that same area, right there. He took the sell. He made about 1,045. John took the sell as well. He made 4,383. And Loco over here, he's up 3,851. So for you guys here who are taking the risky trades, you guys locked in some nice profit. I'm going to try to hop into some too as well. All right, let me scroll up real quick. All right, here we go. We got news coming in about 12 minutes. If you guys have questions, you guys want me to cover any strategies or anything like that, go ahead and put the questions in the chat. I have a lot of free time right now, so I can show you guys like whatever you guys need help with. If you guys need help with risk management, trade psychology, FTMO, any of the K2 strategies, any of the K2 indicators, I can help you out, because I'm not going to enter any trades from like now in the next 20 minutes after the news is passed. Nice. Gene Vaughn took some trades here too. So you guys can see here, if you guys know what you're doing and you guys have the indicators, you guys can trade in both directions. So Gene Vaughn over here, he took some buys, right? So obviously over here, you saw everyone else here took sells. So Ed here took some sells. He's up 1,000. John took sells. He's up 4,000. Loke took sells. He's up almost 4,000 as well. Gene Vaughn over here, he identified this buy over here because I was telling you guys earlier that it was going to swing up when the news happened, right? So he probably took that information. He took some buys, and now he's up about 1,500. So you guys can easily trade in both directions as long as you guys know what you're doing. So there really isn't much for us to look at here. I mean, I wouldn't take the buy because it's too risky, but currently, I mean, there just really isn't much for us to look at this point. The index is now pushing up. It's now up 45 points. Like I mentioned, once it gets above 100, then that's where I would be more inclined to take some trades here off the Dow, because the fundamentals are going to be strong for the buy side if that becomes the case. So we got a pending signal here on the 10 minute, which is cool. Let's see. Thanks, Peter. Peter said that the IG sentiment is 55% short. So that's good because it's probably going to go the opposite and swing up. Oh, you got 20 days, Smoke. So Smoke said he got 20 days still. I wish I was trading with you last week. Would have passed already. 2 bad trades. Yeah, no, exactly, Smokes. Last week was good. A lot of people passed their FTMO like within within like 1 or 2 days. I think the most recent person who passed was Shawn. So Shawn over here, he passed. There we go. So yeah, Shawn, he got his 10 days right there. He just passed his verification, so now he's funded. He did his 10 days, was within his loss range, and his profit target was hit right there. So I think he's done and he's now funded. Yeah, so Shawn said, yeah, I finally reached my objective for the 10 days. Actually hit my profit goal in 4 days, just waiting for my contract from FTMO to start making some real money. Couldn't have done this without K2. Thanks, Shawn. Yeah, no, definitely, Shawn. I'm glad to see that you passed. So like every week or every day, there's a couple people who pass their FTMO. And they get funded with us here. So it's all good. Smokes, you missed yesterday was a great, last week was a great week, but you have 20 days, so you have a lot of time to catch up. Let's see. Falcon says, Shawn, what's the third condition on the 10-minute snipe scalp look like on the charts? What's it qualified and what's not qualified? Okay, so looking at this over here, the third requirement is to confirm a wick rejection off the K2 pivot doesn't touch the candle body. So looking at, let me see if I can find an example for you here. So, okay, so like this would be kind of hard to see, but obviously you can see right here if, so this green one right here, this green candle that we were looking at, we had the wick rejection off this red pivot right here, right? So this red pivot's the only one that's important. What we're looking for is the farthest pivot out. So if I hide these right here, you can see the important one is going to be that red pivot, right? For the third requirement, you want to make sure that the pivot isn't touching the candle body. So the candle body is way down, the pivot's way up here. In that case, this is going to qualify as the third requirement. Let me go into bad one. So that's a good one. I'm just showing you a good example there. Again, same situation with this red one. It touches this pivot right here, but it doesn't touch the body, right? All right, so this is one that would be bad. So looking at this green one right here. Off right here, so you're not confused. We want to confirm a wick rejection off the pivots right here. So it's rejecting off the pivot right here. But for that third requirement, you just want to confirm that the pivot isn't touching the body, right? Right here, this green pivot is touching the body. So that wouldn't qualify as an entry right here for the third condition. Let me see if I can find another example for you. Let's see. Sorry guys, the internet connection is going in and out. Weather out here in California is kind of weird. Week 2, it's kind of cold, so the internet always has issues. But anyways, going back to what I was saying over here, yeah, the main thing that you're looking for is looking for the wick rejection off the pivot. You want to make sure that the wick rejection is, it's a clean rejection off the pivot, and you just want to make sure that the pivot isn't touching the candle body. So trying to see if I get another one here, but I don't really see anything else. If I see another one, I'll show you, Falcon, but I just don't see anything myself here. Okay, again, same situation right here. So this red one here, this red, I'll just circle it for you right here. This one's fine, but this one right here isn't. So like this one right here, you kind of want, the wick rejection off the pivot, but right, this pivot is touching the body, right? This is the that it's touching. And this green pivot right here is touching this body. So this technically would have been a good buy if you entered this one right here, the one prior, right? The one right here is good. This would have been a good entry. However, this one over here, this wouldn't be a good entry because the pivot is going right through the body. So that's going to be an invalid entry. So this would have been valid next to it. Yeah, this one right here would have been valid, but right here would have been invalid because it cuts through the body. So that is what she'll be using there. So hopefully that helps. I don't know if that clears it up for you, but I mean, it's pretty clear to me. I'm not sure if it's still confusing to you. You just want to confirm that the pivot isn't touching the body. So you just want to make sure the pivot isn't going through the body, which isn't here. It's going through here. So this is valid, this would be valid, this would be valid, this would be invalid, this would be invalid, this would be valid here if there was an entry. And that's pretty much it for that. So that looks about right there. All right, let me go back to current price. So it's 7:20 right now. News is coming in about 5 minutes for the oil inventories. So we'll see where it goes from there. Let's see. Yeah, crude oil inventories is coming out right now in about 4 minutes. So we'll see what happens from there. And then we can possibly take some trades if it comes up from that point. Yeah, no problem, Falcon. I want to Pi's asking, why is it that my trend meter that I'm using is mostly blue, but on the same US 30 chart you see is red and green? Because you can change the time frames on there, Pi. So down here you can change your settings. You have it to the intraday settings. If you're looking at it on the intraday settings, that's like way far out, right? It's blue because US 30 isn't trending for like, I mean, it doesn't trend for like hours, if not days on end, right? It's going to be moving around. So this is probably what yours looks like, Pi. It's probably there because you're looking at, if you're on the 10-minute and you're looking at the trend on like the entire daily, this is a daily here because you're looking at it on 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour. It's not going to line up because these candles right here aren't necessarily going to be moving with the trend that's moving, hours from now, because this is short term. So if you want to look on the short time frame, you can change this to just 10 minutes. Or I mean, depends on what you want. If you want it to be quicker, like if you want to see what the quicker trend is, you can even go on the 5 minute or a 3 minute. Or I mean, it's really up to you, whatever you want to change it to. But there's different settings here you can change it to depending on what you're looking for. I just use the 10-minute because I don't really use it. It's just here as an extra confirmation. So yeah, if you want to change it, that's how you would change it. But I mean, it just would really depend on what you're looking for with the trend meter. Like if you're actually using it for something specific, then you'd have to use the specific time frames. But if you're just looking at it to see what the current trend is on the 10-minute, since you're on the 10-minute chart, you can just change it to the 10-minute. All right, so the news is coming in about 3 minutes. Let me see if there's anything else here as we continue on. Let's see. Scroll real quick. Scroll up. All right, cool. Thanks, Ferry. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm always happy to see the analysis play out. Like, I was anticipating it to shoot up because of the news, and it did play out just like we thought, which is also, it's always a benefit because it increases our confidence with our analysis here for US 30. So it looks like US 30 is starting to shift to the upside, but we do have news coming up in about 2 minutes. Yeah, no problem, Pi. I mean, I know it's confusing because the default settings are on 30. It's on the intraday settings because this was meant for the intraday strategy, but you can always change it. Like for my 10-minute here, I only have it set to the 10-minute. On my 3-minute, I have it set to the 3-minute. And then for the 1 minute, I have it set to the 1 minute. I mean, you can always combine them if you want, but since I'm using them as a secondary confirmation, it's not really necessary because we're not basing our trades off the trend meter. It's just an extra confluence for us to look at. Rick said, Shawn, I need help drawing the zones. I feel like mine are always different than yours. Rick, if you have a pair that or let me know like which pair you drew up, which you think is different, and then I'll draw it up for you so that we can look over, what you possibly did wrong or what you did right, to figure that out. Because I think the main concern might be that you're just, you're either missing a zone or you might be on a different time frame because the zones are going to be different. The zones are going to be different depending on the time frame and stuff like that. Let's see. And Gene Vaughn's still holding on to it. So Gene Vaughn earlier, he was up 1,580. Gene Vaughn's now up 2,500. Nice, Gene Vaughn. So yeah, he hopped into that buy and he just held on to it. So nice work, Gene Vaughn. You're killing it, bro. You're up 2,500 right now. So good work to you. Cheryl over here on her first account, she made about 921. She's been scalping US 30, UK 100 all morning. So this is what I mean. If you guys have the indicators, you guys can easily make a lot more profit than what's being called here on these live sessions. So Cheryl over here again on her second account, she's up 692. So nice work, Cheryl. Um, nice. Javon said, still holding the buy. Should I take profit? I mean, it's really up to you, Javon. I probably would take profit because there's news coming up soon. But I mean, it's really up to you. I like you're in a buy right now, so I'd probably pull out and then just hop back in a little later when you get that confirmation as it swings up. Because we really don't know what's going to happen with the market right now. It's kind of just going to do what it's supposed to do. And then once it starts to smoothen out, you can probably start trading in that direction. But I would just pull out right now if you wanted to, Javon, and then possibly hop back in later if you wanted to. So the crude oil inventory just came out. It was actually positive news. All right. So the news was positive right there. Looking at the Dow 30 index right here. I mean, it's still pretty down the middle. It's not really, it hasn't really moved as much. It's only up 30 points, which is weird because for US 30, you expect it to like really be pushing one direction, but it isn't really doing that today. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to take some trades here, I mean, feel free. But like I mentioned, I'm not really going to take any trades myself. I'll probably just give you guys some possible entries, but I think the market is just too, it's just too iffy right now. There really isn't a direction. Like the technical side here hasn't even made up its mind. It's been going back and forth. So as you guys can see right here, it's doing exactly what I identified earlier, right? So I mentioned that once the Fed starts speaking at 7, it's going to be really choppy. So like right here, it came up, then it came down, and it came up, and then now here it is back down, right? Same situation as it just keeps going back and forth. It's not moving smooth like it was right here from market open. This was in market open at 6:30. Yeah, like right there. So 6:30 came up slightly and then it came all the way back down. For right now, it's just going back and forth. So like at this point over here, we really don't know what's going to happen at this point. We don't know if price is going to correct back up or if it's just going to come all the way back down, right? There's a lot of things that can happen at this point. So I'm not willing to take the risk. You know, I don't really need to make much more today. I actually took some trades yesterday, so I'm already in profit pretty nicely from last night. I'm still holding on to the one that we took yesterday during the day too. So I'm still holding on to the other one, but it's a small lot size. It's only a 1 lot, so I don't really. It's not really affecting me at all because I already made about pretty good amount yesterday. Let me just send it over here real quick. Is it on here? Yeah, so I took a trade yesterday, so I'm already up 1,260 at this specific moment. So I'm not really too worried about taking any trades right now. I'd rather conserve that profit and not risk possibly losing it, taking a risky trade here. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, you know, I can take a look for you. But other than that, let me see. Rick wants me to show him my zones on the 10 minutes. So Rick, here, let me go over here on the 10-minute real quick. Okay, I'm just going to take everything off the chart so Rick can see how I mark everything up. All right, Rick. So here's a 10-minute US 30. I'm going to zoom out from this point. I'm going to turn on the K2SR indicator right here. So I'm sure your screen should look exactly the same unless you're using different data. Make sure you're using currency.com data, Rick, so that we have the same setup right here. So these are the zones right here. I'm just going to go ahead and draw my zones for you right here so that you guys can follow along. So there's one zone up there. I mean, it's really just like, it's kind of like filling in the blank, right? You're not really doing anything. You're just going over the zones here. So just make sure that you're covering the zones properly. So again, right there. And if they overlap, you just make them one big zone, right? So there goes the zones right there. And then the last two down here as well. Right, so that's pretty much it, right? I'm gonna turn this off. And there goes the zones for US 30. I'm not sure if this looks different for you or if it looks the same. But yeah, for you guys who are new here, we basically use these zones to identify market structure. So once you identify market structure, you can start to delete stuff that's not really important. So obviously right here, if you go from like left to right, you can see that market structure like becomes created, right? So like, for example, right here, price breaks into this area. This is new market structure, right? So like from this area, price will probably go sideways before it, you know, breaks above or breaks below, right? So if we let this run, you can see right there, it keeps going sideways until it breaks above. And there you go, it breaks above and it pulls back down. And there you go, that big bullish move up there. From that point, it's now into new structure right here, right? What's probably gonna happen here is it'll go sideways until it does the same thing. Breaks above or breaks below, right? It's the same pattern every time. Nothing really changes. So it goes sideways right there. And you can see it bounces back and forth until it breaks into a new structure. There you go. It breaks above here. And then from this point, what do you think is going to happen? Same thing, sideways until it either comes down or it continues to go back up. So that's why it's important that you guys draw this market structure, because it gives you the storyline of what's going to happen. Literally price broke below here. So there goes. So we delete this because it went that direction. From now, what's going to happen here? Same thing, right? Sideways. And then it'll either go up or it'll go down. So that's why it's important that you guys draw these structures here so you can identify market structure, right? So price bounces back and forth until it breaks below for another, I don't know, for another, I guess, directional move. So literally just go sideways for a long time right here. Until it breaks above or breaks below. Go sideways for a bit, breaks below, and then same thing. So yeah, Rick, this is how yours should look. This is the structure that I drew up just now. So I'm not sure if yours looks different or if it looks the same. I mean, if you want to send a screenshot, that we could probably look at that, but it should look exactly like this, because I literally just drew this fresh off my chart right now. All right, so let me check real quick. US 30 is still doing the same thing it was doing earlier. It's now shifting back down. So it has a sell bias here on the 10-minute. It has a sell bias here on the 3-minute. Also has, I mean, it's kind of going sideways here on the 1-minute, but looking at the fundamentals over here, hasn't really moved. It's still positive 37 points. So I don't really see anything worth taking right now. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. So we'll see what goes on for the next, I guess, what's today? 7:38. So we have about, how many minutes till? About 22 minutes until 8. I think at that point, the Fed will be done speaking. So the Fed started speaking at 7. Fed crawl should probably be done in the next, I don't know, 22 minutes or so. So hopefully during that time, we can start taking some trades. Stuff will start to go directional. If not, then, you know, you guys know how I trade. I don't like taking stuff that's too risky. So if we don't have a bias by then I'm probably just going to call it a day and not take any trades, because you guys have to keep in mind that sometimes it's better not to take a trade than to take some risky trades, right? Unless you guys are really confident about what you're taking. Because if you guys have been following me for the past, I don't know, 3 months, 3 months or so, we only had like one loss all last month. Like the last loss I had, I think, was exactly on April 26th, and it was an accident. It wasn't really, if you guys look at my profits here, see, so everything every day, I only trade like 1 to 3 trades, 1 to 4 trades a day, but they're all wins, right? So I think the last time right there, again, 2 wins right there. The last time I had a loss was probably, and it was a loss on this live session. So if you guys want to go back and watch every live session, you guys can go see everything here as a win. Everything is documented, and I trade live every morning. So if you want to go back and see all my trades from May 19th, just pull up the video from May 19th, right? The live session on May 19th. Let me see if I can pull it up for you here. All right, so this is the YouTube channel right here. If you want to go and watch any of the live streams, like I post profits here. If you want to see me take these live with you guys here, just go back to that date. Like for example, May 19th is going to be right here. So if you go back on the YouTube channel, just click on this video right here, May 19th, and this will be the day where I took these trades live with you here. I took all 3 trades live with you, and we all hit a lot of profit off that. I think the last time I had a loss was straight wins there. This is on May 17th. If you want to rewatch that live session, just go over here. May 17th right here. You can watch every trade that I called live, and profits following those trades being called as well. But yeah, I think the last time I had a loss was probably, it was a long time ago. I think Nick said it was like on May or April 26th. So straight wins here on the 27th. 26. I don't know. I don't think I had a loss here. I think it might have been a loss, but I didn't take the trade because I'm here on the 23rd. I don't have any losses here. I think the last time I had a loss, which was an accident, which was on okay, so it was right here on the 21st, May 21st or April 21st, more than a month ago. This is when I had my last loss there. It was an accident. I put my stop loss too close, but I made it right back right after. So I put my stop loss too close on accident. I took a loss there, but then I made it right back on that following trade for 3,900. And I closed that day out about 7,500 anyways. So, I mean, shit happens sometimes, right? I've been trading for a long time, but I still make mistakes. Like I make accidents. It happens. It's not something that you just stop doing because you start finding some consistency. So yeah, looking at this here, let me look at US 30. It's still trying to push up. So like I was looking at earlier again, so like look at the same thing that I marked up earlier, right? I said that when the Fed starts speaking, it's going to go back and forth. That's exactly what's happening here. There was a bullish move. It came back for a retracement, super bullish. Now it's just going back and forth. It's not directional like how it was prior to the news happening. So 8 o'clock right here is probably gonna be the time when they stop speaking. So from that point, we can probably have direction set either upwards or either downwards. But then again, he speaks again over here at noon. Down here. So just keep that in mind. He's just talking like all week. Yeah, no, definitely. So Nick said, I think you may not have lost on that day. It was a breakout and went way past. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, exactly, Nick. Yeah. And I think that's when we stopped using a stop loss, right? Because before we used to have a stop loss somewhat set, but then we started just using a mental stop loss because before it used to be set at 500 pips. But then after a while, we're like, okay, there's a lot of manipulation that happens. So we should probably just have a mental stop loss just in case. So yeah, Nick, no, definitely. I didn't have a loss on that day, but I think that would have been in a loss because I was looking at it here too, the results. So we did have a couple losses here. It's just yeah. So in April we had 4 losses, 42 wins and 4 losses. So I could see that happening off that, Nick, which is all good. All right. So not really much for us to look at here. Going back to the Dow 30, it's up 46 points. What we're looking for here, guys. So just another reminder, I'm waiting for this to go above 100 points. When it goes above 100 points, then the bias will be for a bullish move, but we don't have that yet. It's 7:43 right now. We have about, I guess, 17 minutes until this candle closes, or this 1 hour candle closes. And then from there, we can possibly take some buys. But it looks like things are starting to shift to the upside. Hopefully, we'll see. The only reason I wanted to shift to the upside is because I still have the buy from right here from yesterday. So we took this buy over here. I'm still waiting for it to come back up. I took a 1 lot there, so I'm technically in, like, I'm not doing that bad at all right now because it's only off by, let's see. Yeah, so I'm probably like in drawdown. Not even that much really. Probably like a couple $100. But I already made 1,000 yesterday, so I'm not really, I already covered that loss if I wanted to close out with a loss, which I'm probably not going to. Maurice is asking, hey, question about your SR zones. Do you draw them on a higher time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour, just let them stay on your chart? Not really, Maurice. I mean, depends on what you're trading. If you're trading on the higher time frame, then yeah, it would make sense for you to do that. But if you're scalping, you really don't care what's going on like an hour from now or 4 hours from now, right? Because we're only trading on the 10-minute here. We're trading on even the shorter ones, the 10-minute, the 3-minute, and the 1 minute. So those zones are really irrelevant on these shorter time frames, right? Unless like you're trading on the higher time frame. Because the thing is, price can easily break right through those zones and then come right back. There's just a lot more noise on the shorter time frame. So if I'm using the snipe strategy on the 10-minute, I'm only going to be concerned with the zones on the 10-minute, right? I don't care what's going on the 1 minute, on the 1 hour or 4 hour, because that stuff's just relevant to me because we're just trying to catch these scalps here. If you're trading intraday like this right here, so if you're trading the K2SR strategy, then yeah, we do this on the 4 hour. So I mean, it just depends on what you're trading and depending on your trading style. So if you like to trade one way, you can do that. Like if you like doing a top-down analysis, yeah, you can do that. But for me personally, I don't really do a top-down analysis for scalping. There just really isn't. I mean, there's analysis here on the 10-minute, 3-minute, 1-minute, but odds are it's probably going to move in the same direction anyways. There's no need for me to draw, zones here on the 10, zones on the 3, and zones on the 1, because we're trading based off momentum here. So yeah, no problem, Maurice. So yeah, Maurice said mainly scalping US 30. Yeah, if you want to just scalp US 30, the zones that I would consider important are probably going to be the 10 and the 15 for scalping, because US 30, it doesn't move like Forex where it respects the zones very much. It kind of just breaks right through it if there's momentum there. So yeah, no, definitely. You should be good on the 10-minute if that's all you want to trade. See, Shawn said, I just signed a contract, got funded right as market open. I'm being careful though, not taking risky trades to start. Yeah, definitely, Shawn. Just take it easy. Don't no need for you to rush through anything really. Because yeah, you don't want to. Okay, so this is what I see a lot happen. So before, I used to help people pass their FTMOs. And the problem with me doing that is I would pass people's FTMOs, and then once they get funded, they would lose the account like on their first trade. So that's why I don't do that anymore. I'd rather teach you guys how to trade and be consistent on your own using the K2 strategies, so that you guys actually know what you're doing. Because the last thing you want to do is get funded, and then you take one bad trade following because you just get too excited, and then you end up losing the funded account. That's like a whole month or 2 months wasted, right? So that's why I don't pass FTMOs for people anymore. I mean, obviously you can see it's pretty easy to pass. The real hard part is staying funded after. Because like, obviously, if you just copied it, like literally, if you just copied all of my US 30 trades for like the past month or so, you should have passed. That's why every day we have people passing in K2, because it's not that difficult. Especially if you have no losses. Like if I just scroll back to all of my trades for this entire month, like if you make like a couple thousand a day trading with me here, like obviously I'm trading a bigger lot size because I'm on a 200K account. You can still lock in like half that, about like 1,500. If you do that, like for example, right here, this is on the 24th. So here's one day, you make about a couple thousand. The day before that, you make a couple thousand, right? On the, what was it, Friday, I think. Yeah, again, right here, you make a couple thousand. The day before that, you make a couple thousand, right? If you just trade with me for like 10 days and you don't take any losses, you can easily pass your FTMO just taking the trades that I take. So that's that's why I don't want to pass FTMOs for people. I'd rather just have you guys learn this stuff so that you guys can do it yourself. Because I want you guys to be self-efficient. I don't want you guys to just rely on me to call these trades for you, even though I don't mind it. I trade live every morning, so it doesn't really make a difference for me. But I want you guys to actually understand what you're doing here. I want you guys to be successful traders long term, not just during my live sessions, which is fine. I mean, if that's all you guys want to do, that's cool too. But I actually want you guys to do better and actually last in this trading game. Because the thing is, you guys have to witness losses. So you guys have to experience failure and stuff like that. You'll never get better unless you actually experience it yourself. All right, let's see. Peter said the second biggest reason why people fail FTMO is greed. First reason, they don't know what they're doing. Right, exactly, Peter. So you guys already know what you're doing here. It's easy. You guys already know what you're doing here because I show you guys exactly what I do. The main thing is just not getting greedy and using proper risk. Like, for example, the trade from yesterday, right? We took a trade up here. I told you guys it was going to be really risky not to take it, but some of you guys did take it. And for you guys who did listen to me and didn't take a big lot size, you guys are perfectly fine. Like I usually take a 10 lot for my trades, but for this one over here, I took a 1 lot because I was like, oh, this is a risky trade. So if I go into some heavy drawdown, that's cool because I'll just wait for it to come back up. Let's see. Deswell said, Shawn, can you show me how to set up my social trader to copy trades? I'm not going to show you mine because it has my information on there. So I can't show you on my screen, Deswell. I mean, it's not that difficult. You just go on social trader, you add your account to the copier, and then you add the copiers to the master account. I would show you, but it has, you already know how it looks like. Deswell, it has all the personal information on there, it has the account information, the login, stuff like that. So I'm not going to show you my screen here, but I mean, just go on YouTube or something and you could probably find it. Let me see if I can find it here. I'll search it up for you. Okay, so if you just go on YouTube, Deswell, and you just search social trader tools, it'll explain to you right here how to do it. I would do it if I wasn't on this live because I could just, hide the information, but I can't do it because I'm on the live right now. So there's a bunch of videos here explaining exactly how to do it. And there's people here who use it for FTMO as well, right? Like this person over here, she said she passed 3 FTMO challenges at the same time. So yeah, if you want to look at it up right here, you can check here as well. Just look up social trader tools. But yeah, so that's about it right there. And I'm not an affiliate with social trader tools. They don't pay affiliates. So, I recommend it because I actually use it. I don't recommend it because I'm trying to get a commission or anything like that. It's, shit, my bad, guys. Hey, what happens when I drink water and goes down the wrong pipe? Yeah, no, it's fine as well. You can find the videos on there. It shouldn't be all that difficult. Goldie said, Shawn, are you taking the 3-minute pending buy? No, I don't see. I'm trying to see which one you're looking at, Goldie. I don't see a pending buy here at all. I guess you probably saw it on the last one, but I wouldn't have taken it because the 10-minute here is still showing a bearish bias. So it wouldn't work out anyways. Like in order for me to take a sell here or whatever trade, it would have to match up with the bias on the 10-minute, the 3-minute, and the 1-minute if that became the case. So I wouldn't have taken it because the bias here on the 3-minute, on the 10-minute is still for a sell until price goes above. So if price goes above, comes back down, and then continues higher, then yeah, I would start taking some buys. But the bias here on the 10-minute is still a sell because we still use a top-down analysis for US 30 for scalping, but it also has to line up with the fundamentals too. So looking at the fundamentals over here, it's still only up 20 points. This would have to be up 100 points before I start looking for any trades in general, because I only want to take trades when they're consistently going in one direction, because you don't want to get caught in any of that whipsaws, the whipsaw movements. Yeah, exactly, Goldie. Yeah. So you just want to make sure that the higher time frame matches with it so that you know that you're trading in the proper direction. You always say just starting your day with Kool-Aid. Right. I need to get some Kool-Aid from you, bro. This water's not cutting it for me. And so US 30, I mean, you guys can see US 30, it's not really moving very directional at all. It's kind of just, oh shit, sorry. Woke up my dog. It's not really moving directional at all, right? So I have it marked up here. As you guys can see, it's doing exactly what I mentioned earlier, right? When the Fed started speaking at 7 up until 8, it's not really moving directional at all. It moved up and then now it's just going back and forth. So this is why we don't trade during news. If you guys are wondering why I'm not trading right now and other people are trading and making profit, it's because they're taking riskier trades. Like Cheryl over here, she's taking buys here and she's making profit, right? All around. Cheryl made 600 on one account. She made 900 on the other account. Gene Vaughn over here took the buy because I mentioned that it would swing up from this point. He was up like 2,500 right here. And then same situation with like other people here. They took sells. I mean, if you guys are familiar with how I've been trading, I don't really, I only take stuff that I'm like 100% sure are going to hit because I just don't like losing. I just don't like losing trades at all. That's why my win rate here is so high. TT's asking, when are you looking for sells or you only look for? I look at whatever the market tells me, TT. We never only look for buys. We never only look for sells. If there's a bias, if the fundamentals side shows that there's a high, like if it's a bias for a buy, then I'm looking for buys. If it's showing a bias for a sell, then I'm looking for sells, but there's no bias right here. It's still down the middle, right? It's only up 18 points. So this can easily turn red within the next few seconds or so. So I'm not really looking for either or right now. I'm waiting for the market to tell me what's going to happen. And then from there, I'm going to trade in that direction. But looking at this here, there's no direction set, right? It's just going back and forth. So until a direction has been set, then I'll take trades. But right now, there's no direction, even on the technical side. Looking at the technical side over here, it's kind of just going. I mean, it looks like a sell right here, but this can easily just spike all the way back up, right? So I'm not necessarily looking for any sells, and I'm not necessarily looking for any buys. I'm just waiting for the market to tell me what's going to happen next, so that I can take the trade in that direction. Let's see. Harris said K2. I'm short GCAD on the top red candle. Do you think this will drop more? Let me go check real quick. So Harris is on GCAD right here. I'll just analyze this from scratch and show you guys exactly how I analyze things again. So I'll just zoom out from this point. First thing I'm going to do is identify market structure. To do that, I'm going to turn on the K2SR indicator right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw my zones. So I got a zone right here. Got a zone right here. These overlap. So let's make one big zone. Got a zone right here. Zone right there. Zone right there. Right there. And then lastly, we have another zone down here. All right. So once we have those drawn up right there, I'll turn that off. Obviously, you can see prices just consolidating sideways right here. I'm going to turn the momentum indicator over here. All right, so Harris is on the 15-minute. I mean, it wouldn't matter if you're on the 15-minute or the 4-hour or the daily or whatever. It's still going to be the same analysis, Harris, but I'm just going to show you right here that it's currently at a 4-hour resistance, right? And it's at a 4-hour support right here. So we'll just circle that. I'll go down to the 15-minute. It doesn't really make a difference because it's still in the same area right here. You know, until price breaks or closes past these. Because even if that was a case, like if you're on the 15-minute or the, like it doesn't matter because we like looking on the 4-hour over here, it's still in the same area. So you can see it's still consolidating within this area right here. Consolidating phase is going to be from like up here, or not even up there. It'll just be within the zone here. So the body from right there to right here, right? So whether you're on the 15-minute, whether you're on the 4-hour, whether you're on the 1-hour, it's still going to be the same thing. It's within these two zones right here. So it doesn't really make a difference. On the 4-hour here, you can see it's still within the same thing that I drew. So I drew right there, and you know, going back on the 15-minute over here, it's the same thing. Price would need to break below here, or I would need a break above here for you to, you know, have some sort of entry available. So the last entry that was available here was when price broke structure right here, right? So right here, price broke structure. It broke the K2SR zone right there. The momentum signal right here was green. So you would have taken a long position right there to the next zone for full TP, right? So I hit full TP right there. Looking at yours over here, I mean, you're wondering if it's going to drop more, but you won't really know until it closes below this area. But even if it does close below this area, you'd still need the sell signal. So you would need this to close below here, and you would need a sell signal, right? So let me show you an example of what I mean by that. Okay, so this is the same setup right here, right? Price was consolidating right here. You can see how price broke below the structure right here, but we didn't have that sell signal yet, right? So once you got that sell signal right there, you could have taken that short position right there for a sell, right? And that would hit TP. The thing with this over here on GCAD is you're asking about the sell, but there's really no sell that's available there yet. So I'm not sure if you just hopped in, because you said you were short on it. So you probably hopped in somewhere around this area, but there's no confirmation that it's going to come back. It's actually going to come down. This can easily just bounce up and then come back from there, right? I personally wouldn't have taken this trade. I would have waited for it to close below here, and I would have waited for a sell signal somewhere around that area so that I can catch it down from here for a nice win right there, right? So I personally don't see a sell right here for GCAD. There we have that sell signal, but you would have to wait for that confirmation for you to really want to take that trade. Because the thing is, if this is an invalid signal, this can easily just keep bouncing between this area right here, back and forth. So, I mean, I can't really tell you what's going to happen next. Harris, you can probably keep watching it to identify what's going to happen. But I personally, you know, I'd wait for it to close below here. That I like, that's why I have such a high win rate. That's why I usually don't lose trades, because I wait for that full confirmation. you would just need it to close below here with the sell signal, and then you can take that for a sell. But right now, I don't have any confirmation that it's going to come down because it's just ranging within this area, and it doesn't matter what time frame you're looking at. If you're looking on the 15-minute, it's ranging right there. 30-minute, it's ranging right there. 60-minute, it's ranging right there. And the 4-hour, same, it's still ranging right there too. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you were short from the top, but I mean, there's still no guarantee it's going to come down, right? You need to wait for that confirmation. So I would just keep watching it, see how it closes from here. If you get that sell signal and it closes below this area, then you could probably catch the drop further down. But let me look at the other time frame. So for GCAD right here, in order for this to drop, you want the Canadian dollar to be stronger than the pound, right? So looking at the pound over here, the pound is strong for GA. The pound is weak for GBP/CHF. The pound is just consolidating for GJ. GN over here, the pound is weak. And for G over here, the pound is weak. It's just consolidating as well, right? So like looking at that right there, there really isn't much of a confluence between the pound symbols. So I'll just pull up the pound over here, which is BXY. So we got the BXY right here, and then we got the CXY for the Canadian index over here. And you can see over here, they're both bearish, right? So they're both coming down. So this is coming down and this is coming down. If they're both coming down right there, there's not really going to be a direction. So just looking at GCAD over here that you took, like there's no real direction yet until the Canadian dollar comes up. So we need this to go up. In order for that to come down, we need this to go up and we need this to continue pushing down. If this continues pushing down and this continues pushing up, then you could expect GCAD to continue pushing down further. So there's a couple of different confluences you could look at there, but the main thing would just be this. See, this is exactly what we were looking for here. Once you have that confirmation right there where it closes below the zone, then you can take that trade. You got 12 minutes left though. So you still have a lot of time on this candle before it closes. But once it does close, you can take that for a sell. And then you can just ride that down to the, the next structure over here. So yeah, no, you got pretty good positioning if you enter early. But for me, that'd just be too risky. Because, for me, obviously, I would want to enter like one time for sure. But yeah, I mean, I would just keep looking at this. We can come back to this in the next 10 minutes or so. But we still got some time on this candle. If it does close, though, you should be good. All right, looking at US 30 over here, US 30 is starting to swing all the way back up. So US 30, you can see the fundamentals over here. It's now up 60 points, which is perfectly fine. That's good. That's what we're looking for. And then now we're just watching this. Oh, there was actually a snipe entry that was available right here. Unfortunately, I missed it. I wasn't paying attention to it. But yeah, there's a snipe entry that was available right there for whoever. I mean, if anyone caught that, it's on its way to TP right there. But I probably would have messed with it until we have that confirmation. But yeah, obviously right here, that would have been a snipe entry for a buy. Possible entry here on the 3-minute, and then here on the 1-minute, this would have been an entry right here. So it looks like the bias is starting to shift to a buy right now, just like we anticipated earlier. If you took this 1-minute scalp, this would have been a full TP already. So that would have hit TP. This would be a pending buy right here. But I'm still not going to take these trades. I'm not convinced that the market's moving smoothly yet. It's still barely moving. So we'll see where it goes from here. Let's see. Yeah, this market is, I don't like how the market's moving. It's still not, there's no bias here for the fundamental side. It's only up 50 points. Like I mentioned, we're waiting for it to be up 100 points before we start taking some actual trades off this. But I mean, it is what it is, and we got to deal with it. It's just that type of week where the market's just really slow. Volatility's been like at an all-time low, I think, for this month. And I think that's what Jeff posted yesterday, right, Jeff? Let me see if I could find that. From, I forgot what day you sent it, Jeff. But Jeff did post it over here. Here, let me see. Yeah, because Jeff posted the, yeah, no, that too. And he said, yeah, it's monthly OPEX too. I was trying to see the volatility post that she posted from yesterday. Yeah, no, volatility is pretty whacked this whole week. It's just too slow. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so I think Jeff probably deleted it. But he did post like on Monday, I believe. Oh, there we go. So he posted it right here. Yeah, so Jeff posted it right here. He said total volume for all US exchanges. It went from like moving pretty quickly up here, like in January, February, and then this week is actually the slowest week so far, slowest day. I mean, not this. It's been like pretty slow. It was slow like late March, but then now it's really slow. So the volume is very, very slow at this point, and there just really isn't much for us to move off this. I mean, you guys can still trade this if you want. Like I mentioned, it's just risky trades, and I'm not going to risk it. So here's the entry right there for that scalp. If anyone wanted to take it, I'm tempted to enter for just a quick little move because I'm trying to pass an FTMO for my mom, basically. So we'll see where it goes from here. I mean, obviously it's pushing up pretty heavily right there. So if anything, or I forgot to count the trading day. Actually, no, I counted it yesterday. I took one trade yesterday. I forgot, my bad. Yeah, I might take this for a small lot size and then just try to make some profit off this and just close out. Because I'm not really looking to make very much profit off these trades. I'm really just trying to count the trading days for, I think it's like my mom's challenge account or something like that. Yeah, I'm already up like a couple $100 right here. I'm probably just gonna close out once it reaches like 500 or 1,000. All right, there we go. As it pushes up. So I'm currently in this one right now. I don't know if I'm gonna hold it to the full thing. I'm just looking to get a little squeeze out of this. But it's a risky trade, so just keep that in mind. So I'm already up about, I was already up like 1,000. I wasn't paying attention to it though. I'll push it a little higher. Yeah, I'm not gonna get greedy. So I locked in about 700 off that trade. If you guys want to hold on to it, like I mentioned, it's an at your risk trade, guys. It's not something that I necessarily too focused on. So let me just send you guys my profits for that one. But yeah, it's an at your risk trade, guys. I just took it really quick because I need to count. I forgot that I already took a trade off this account, so I didn't really need to take that one. But I took it anyways, just to count the trading day because I thought I needed to count one. So I took it on my account and then it copied over to my mom's account. And I'll send you guys a profiteer. You guys can see if you guys know what you're doing, you can hop into that really quick. It's not really a big deal. It's just a really quick move for you guys to hop into. So I'll just send you guys a profiteer. Yeah, I'm trying to get my whole family their own account for FTMO. So I'm trying to pass all their accounts for them. But yeah, so here's my profits from that. I literally just got into that really quickly. I locked in about 835 off that trade. So if you guys understand the strategy here and know what I'm doing here, you guys can do this on your own, right? So I made about 800 off that account. Here's my mom's. She copied it. She made about 735. So about 2,000. Yeah, I'm just trying to pass her days so that she can get her FTMO. Find it as well. So small profit. That K2 US 30 minute scalp. I decided just message. Yeah, so Jeff's actually up pretty nice too. Jeff is up, he's up about 1,000 for the day, bro. Doing pretty good. Yeah, so Jeff's up 924 for the day. So you're doing pretty good. I just locked in that small little profit right there. Like I mentioned, it's an at your risk trade. That's why I hopped out because look how it's moving right now. It's not really moving very smoothly at all. So I'm already out of the trade. You guys can see I got in real quick, got out real quick, made close to about 1,000 on there. I was trying to reach 1,000, but unfortunately I didn't reach that. I was at 1,000 when it was up here. So when it was up here, I was at like 1,500. And then I wasn't looking at it. So I looked at it and went down to 800. So I closed out at that point right there. So yeah, I mean, that's that. Market's still moving kind of funky right now. So I'd be careful if you guys are thinking to enter any trades. It's 811 right now. See if there's any movement in the market. So overall, all the indexes are bullish. They're not very bullish, but they are bullish. So the Dow's up 65 points now. So it's doing a bit better. 70 points now. So it might be moving towards the bullish side, which is cool. Let's see. I just saw you guys' messages over there on the YouTube. Yeah, no, I've been moving around a lot. Well, I'm always traveling because I don't know if you guys remember, I'm an attorney. So I went to law school in San Diego. So I've always been around. I haven't always been in like one place. Um, but yeah, I didn't necessarily move out when I became profitable. I mean, I've been doing stuff my whole life. I went to college, I went to law school, I worked at a different firm. So I didn't necessarily move around for trading. I moved around because I was doing like normal stuff before trading. Peter said his mom kicked him out, so he passes her FTMO, right? Yeah, no, exactly. The got to pass that FTMO, but looking over here at the Dow index, it's still I mean, you guys can see here, it's not really moving too much. It went up to like 70 points. Now it's down to 54. It's just the market's not really, it's not a place to like play around with right now until there's some sort of some sort of confirmation on there. Let's see, KJ is asking Shawn, on a 50K trial account for FTMO, what lot size is recommended to trade if using your signals and on only US 30? I mean, everything Harris is asking. Wait, has she been here for like how many months? Because Harris is asking, you have another job or you trade full time? I mean, I've been trading full time for like a year now or over a year. I know you've been here for a while. I don't know. Did you just realize that I haven't been working? Because if I was working, I couldn't be on these live sessions with you guys every day, and I couldn't be on mentoring sessions like every other hour, right? So I do this full time, but it's not really full time. I only trade like 2 hours a day. I'm on from like 6 to 8, and that's pretty much it. And I pretty much just go and chill out for the rest of the day because I don't really do. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't like, people say they trade full time, but I only trade 2 hours a day. I don't know if I would consider that full time. I kind of just live life full time, but I trade for 2 hours a day because like after this, I just do whatever I want. I go walk my dog. I don't know, I go to the gym. I do whatever I want. Really, it's not necessarily. I wouldn't consider this a job. Yeah, CT said full time job feeding your dogs. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know my dog, Kyle here. This dude eats good every day. Well, I guess that's my job. I'm his chef. I make this dude. That dude eats better than me. Eats steak and chicken every day. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much my life. I don't really, before I used to be really busy when I was mentoring a lot of people. But like I mentioned before, we're moving towards like the whole hedge fund side of things. So I'm working with my attorney every day now. We're trying to get the whole hedge fund thing going here, or prop firm going with K2. The private side of it, not necessarily it's not going to be like FTMO where anyone can just sign up and be a funded trader with K2. So yeah, I mean, I guess I trade full time and I have a lot of other stuff that I do on the other side, just stuff helping grow K2, testing strategies, doing mentoring sessions when they're available and stuff like that. Um, But yeah, so Joseph's asking, hi K2, does the premium group offer Zoom library for the older videos with better resolution? I noticed YouTube videos are blurry. So the premium members get the live Zoom, but the videos here are going to be on the YouTube, the ones that are you can rewatch on demand. So Joseph, make sure that when you're on the YouTube that you check off the because I don't think anyone else has an issue with it. It shouldn't be blurry for you. It might be your internet connection might be low or you're not using the highest resolution. So like, for example, here, I'll go to yesterday's. So this is yesterday's. Let me just take off this ad here. This is yesterday's live session. If you go on here, make sure that you're using the highest, 720p. Because if you guys are looking at my, I mean, it's probably not going to look good on my end, but if you look here, it shouldn't be that blurry. It should be fine for you. Yeah. Just make sure that you have it set to the highest quality right here, because some people have it set to something like if your internet connection is low, you're probably gonna have it set to a lower quality. But if you push it to 720, I think it should be fine. I don't think anyone else has any issues here with it being blurry. It's you just got to increase the resolution to it. Yeah, no, that should fix it for you, Joseph. I don't think I've seen anyone else have any issues with it. So I think you should be all right if you just increase the resolution of it. Because you don't have to be looking at things like really clearly, right? It's more so just grasping the ideas that I'm giving you guys. Mercedes is asking, when will you create groups to specialize in a strategy? That's the long way to go, Mercedes, because I still need to get all the legal stuff ready here. I can't start working with you guys like that until I get everything all set up for the whole prop firm hedge fund type thing that we're doing here. There goes my dog. But yeah, Mercedes, it's going to be a while before I get to that point. The whole legal stuff, it's a lot of work, and it takes some time for us to file everything, make sure everything is set up properly, and then we have everything all in place. So once that's all set up, then we can start setting up the groups together. Sorry guys, I'm missing my dog. All right, so I think this is it for the day, guys. The market just isn't moving at all. There's just really no reason for me to stay on here, because I know if I stay on, I'm going to take some bad trades, or I'm going to take some risky trades that I shouldn't be entering. So I'm probably going to log off from this point over here. Let's see. King Kong is asking, hey, Shawn, do I need a new challenge to upgrade my account? What do you mean by upgrade your account, Kong? Hey, Shawn, do I need a new challenge? I don't know what you mean by upgrading your account. Sorry, because I've never upgraded my account for FTMO. Or I don't know if you're talking about funding talent, because I know you messaged me about funding talent. I've never done funding talent, so I don't know what it is there. Let me see, AKJ. Oh, sorry, AKJ or AJK. So AJK said, Shawn, on the 50 trial account for FTMO, what lot size? So I mean, it depends on what you're trading, AJK. I mean, it really depends on whether you're because are you just like talking about signals in general, because Forex is totally different from US 30, and US 30 is going to be different if you're trading the 10-minute snipe, because you're going for 500 pips. If you're trading the 3-minute over here, this is going to be 250 pips. The 10 minutes going to be even, or the 1 minute is going to be even less. So I mean, your lot size is going to vary from whichever one you're trying to apply. So it's going to be specific on yeah, but I mean, like I mentioned, AKJK, I just said they're totally different. Are you talking about the 10-minute? Are you talking about the 3-minute? Are you talking about the 1 minute? Are you talking about the daily entry or US 30? There's different signals. So you got to be a little more specific with your, okay, are you talking about the daily or are you talking about the snipe? Because they're totally different. The daily is going to be 1500 pips. The snipe is going to be 500 pips. So that's what I'm trying to get the point across to you, that the daily is going to be 1500 pips. So if you do 500 times 3, that's going to be a big move there. So what's your max loss for the daily on yours? So because the thing is, let's see if I can find it. So whenever you guys ask me things like this, you guys have to be like really specific. What's your max daily loss? What time frame you're trading on? What strategy you're applying? Because everything is different. The answer is going to vary depending on what you're looking for. So let me just go find what your daily loss is on the. I mean, because it's a basic math equation, right? Like it shouldn't be too difficult for you guys to figure this out on your own. So if you're on the 50K account and you're using a normal, you can lose 2,500 a day, right? So like, for example, here, if you're trading this and you're doing a one lot, so like a one lot, if you're doing a one lot, 1.00, it's going to be $1 per pip. So if you're doing $1 per pip times 1,500 pips, you're going to be risking 1,500 per trade, right? So if you want to do that, you can use between a 0.5 to 0.01 because you're going for 1,500 pips. If you're on if you're doing the snipe strategy, it's completely different because you're only going for 500 pips. So your risk for that's going to be completely different, right? If you're doing one of these, then you're probably going to use around a 2.5, right? Because you use a 2.5 lot, it's $2.50 per pip times 500. You're going to be risking 12.50. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of risk, you should just do it off percentage, right? So, I mean, your main thing should be below like 1% per trade, AJKJ. So, yeah, like I just had set out right there. It's just going to depend on what you're applying. So if you're doing the daily entry, your lot size is probably going to be around one lot or less because you're going to be risking 1,500. So you probably should be using a 0.50 and a 1.00. So you probably use like maybe a 1.0 or 1.60 or a 0.60 or a 0.70 because you just do the math yourself. You just multiply it 70 cents times 1,500. You're gonna be risking 1,000. Your max loss is 2,500, so you want to be below that. So you can probably use a 0.50 if you're doing the daily entry because it's 1,500 pips. I mean, but if you're looking at terms of risk, it should always be around 1%. So I don't know if you know how to calculate your own risk or not, but you just got to add it up, right? Because the thing is, if your max daily loss is 2,500, you want to be able to take maybe 2 or 3 trades a day, right, before you reach that point. So if that's the case, then you can probably take a smaller lot size, 0.50 times 1,500. You're only risking 750. So if your max loss is 2,500 divided by 750, you can lose 3.3 trades before you reach that daily max loss, right? So that might be the case where if you want to take 3 daily entry type trades, you can risk a 0.50 3 times. And we don't lose like 3 times a day, so you should be fine. We probably lose like once a day, or not even once a day, like maybe like once a month. So that's why you can use a higher risk, but your risk should be about like 1 to 2%, maybe less than that, depending on how you want to apply it. Yeah, so Mercedes said I did FTMO 50K demo with a two lot max. And that's because Mercedes isn't doing the daily entry. So your question kind of went different because you're asking about the daily entry. It's a bigger move. You're going for 1,500 pips versus 500 pips. So it just depends on what you're trying to trade there. AJKJ, but yeah, see, Mercedes says she does it on the 3 minute and 1 minute. So that's going to be different from your question. If you're doing the daily entry, you're not going to take a 2 lot, because if you're taking a 2 lot times 1,500, you're going to go over your max daily loss. So you would have failed your FTMO at that point if you lost 2 trades back to back. So just keep that in mind. I mean, it's really simple. If you're taking a 1 lot, each pip is going to be worth $1. If you're taking a 0.5 lot, then it's going to be 50 cents a pip. So you just multiply that by how many pips you're taking, and that's going to give you the number right there. So basic math equation right there. It's not that difficult. You just multiply how much each pip is worth versus how many pips you're going for. And then from there, you can make sure that it's below the max daily loss. So you should probably be using less than a one lot if you're trading at the daily entry. Yeah, no problem, AJKJ. I mean, I know it's kind of confusing, but you just got to practice. So like right here, I'm explaining it to you. You probably still are confused. What I recommend you do is just open up a calculator. And then if you're doing So I'll just put this up over here somewhere. Okay, so FTMO US 30 pip value. So for a 1 point lot size, $1 per pip. You know, lot size, it'll be 10 cents per pip. 0.01 lot size equals penny per pip, right? So that's all you got to do. You just got to use that. So if you're using a 1 lot, or if you're using, you know, a 0.5, and you're going for 500 pips, that's going to be your risk right there. That's too small, right? So you should probably use something higher, like what Mercedes uses is 2 lots. So she uses 2 times 500. She's only risking 1,000. Her max daily loss is 2,500. So she could lose like 2.5 trades before she reaches that point. So that's why she uses that there. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it from my perspective. Let's see, Zephyr said anyone has an appetite for the daily move, if that sell. Yeah, no problem, AJ, KJ, glad I can help you. Zephyr said anyone has appetite for, let me see. Yeah, Zephyr, that's a risky move. I don't know. Me personally, I don't have the appetite to take that sell because I think it's probably going to swing up. The thing is, the Fed's speaking again in a couple hours. So it's 8:30 right now. The Fed's speaking again at 10, or not, at noon actually. So at that point, price can easily go the opposite direction again. So I probably wouldn't mess with it. I'm probably done for the day. So if you guys have any other questions, let me just scroll up real quick. Falcon said, how do we find you on Social Trader? You can't find people on Social Trader, Falcon. There's no, it's not a social network. It's just a website called Social Trading Tools. But yeah, you can't find me on there, Falcon, because they don't have, I mean, you can't search people up on that website. It's not like a Facebook. It's just an account copier. See, Roland said FTMO doesn't flag you for copying for the fam. It's something I want to do, but I thought they don't allow copying from your accounts that aren't yours. How are you going about doing that? Because I manually enter and exit my trades, Roland. So like my entries and exit points aren't always the same. So like, look, check this out over here. So my trade right here, see how this one over here, I entered at 34,375, and then I exited at 34,383. So looking at this over here, it's off by like a few pips, right? So you can't really tell that a copier is copying the trade. So I do everything manually. It's manual entry, manual exit. That's why the numbers here are different. You know, FTMO, I mean, technically, if the market's moving really slow, then yeah, they can probably detect where your entries and exits like go in and out. But if you're just entering when market's actually moving, it's kind of hard to really detect that. So that's how I do it. I do everything manually. But, you know, like I mentioned, you know, or like you mentioned, you're going to do it at your own risk, because if they do catch you, you're going to lose your account, and that's going to be on you. For me, I mean, I can pass another FTMO easily. It's not a big deal. So I'm not really too worried about that. So just, you know, just keep that in mind. So let me see if there's anything else here real quick. Damn, so Cheryl locked in a lot more profits. So Cheryl, again, she locked in about 1,500 right here. She took some buys as well, the same buys that I took. So she locked in some profit off that. She's up 1,500. Her other account, she's up 692. So nice work, Cheryl. She said, okay, I'm done for the day. Some hard trading today. No, I agree, Cheryl. So yeah, great work, Cheryl. Nice work off that profit right there. So I'm just going to delete this right quick. So Cheryl's done with that right there. You know, you guys are doing good. Everybody here is killing it. Damn, Ghost, what happened with you, bro? I don't know how Ghosts have all these losses right here. Oh, I mean, well, he looks like he's taking his own trade. So he took his own trades. I mean, obviously we're not doing that. We don't have any losses this week so far. But yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you got to bounce back, Ghost. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it too much. Just take the more careful trades. Don't trade when like, make sure to keep off when it's risky. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else that I'm missing over here real quick. Yeah, Fidel said it's happy hour summer. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for me today. The market isn't really moving as we'd like it to. Obviously it's just market's like super slow today. The bias over here hasn't really changed. It's still at 20 points, 30 points. It hasn't really moved very much. And then same with, US 30 over here. The news is going to happen again in a couple hours. So I wouldn't really mess with the market. If you guys want to, just be careful, use a smaller lot size. But I think me personally, I'm done. I already made pretty decent profit today. I'm up 2,000 on one account. I'm up 2,000 on the other account. So a total of about 4,000 for the day, which I'm happy with. I can't complain about being in profit and not having any losses today. So I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any other questions, let me check the YouTube real quick. Falcon said I wasn't specific, my bad. I meant, no, I'm not a signal provider on social trader tools, Falcon. I don't like dealing with lazy traders. So for me, I don't do any of that copier stuff. I don't do any PAM accounts. I don't do any of that stuff. I'd rather teach you guys how to trade rather than have you guys copy, my trades through a copier. So no, I don't do any of that stuff. Yeah, well, definitely never. I'll probably never do that. That's why we're moving towards hedge fund side of things, because I'd rather teach you guys the skill and then just have you guys master it and then trade my own capital. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, other than that, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys do trade, use a smaller lot size, manage your risk properly, and don't hop into stuff that you're not 100% sure about. So other than that, I think I'm going to wrap it up with that. And then I'll see you guys either in the chat. I'll still be available in the chat, but for the most part, if you guys want to catch me tomorrow, I think tomorrow will be a better day. I think the news, let's see. I mean, there's still news tomorrow, but it's not as bad. But hopefully we can try to wrap up the day tomorrow with another couple of wins, and then we can close out this week strong on Friday. So other than that, I think that's it for today. If you guys have questions, just reach out to me on Telegram. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys here tomorrow morning for the next live session. So see you guys later. Be safe. Enjoy your day. Don't stay on the charts all day, especially not right now in the market's kind of going back and forth. So other than that,